baseball season is finally winding down. Even though it lasts more than half the year, it always seems to go too fast. I love baseball season. And so, to help me cope with the coming off season, we have Inside Pitch 2003. Although this won't help anything. This game sucks.
It's time for baseball, everybody, and welcome to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
So I know people yearn for the days when there were multiple baseball games to choose from, but if you really think about it, I mean, there were multiple games to choose from in 2003, and this is the kind of crap choices they were. I yearn for the 80s, when, RBI baseball, baseball stars. You get the idea. I ran about this stuff all the time. Nonetheless, back to Inside Pitch 2003. It's a modern baseball game in spirit, but in execution, it's just a mess. Bizarre cameras, god-awful animations, very few modes. Hey, batter up!
Could go. Back-to-back home runs.
So let's start with the gameplay. Well, pretty much what you'd expect from a modern baseball game, at least in terms of the batting and pitching. Choose the pitch, choose the location, let her rip. The difference is the strike zone's divided up like a grid, so you can't really locate wherever you want, you have to pick a box. By today's standards, that's obviously kind of limiting, but it's not bad, it works well, and it keeps things a bit more fast-paced, which I'm completely in favor of. I like arcade baseball anyway, so, whatever. Square it up.
Struck him out, and the side is returned.
Hitting isn't bad either. You can aim your swing high or low, but there's not much more to it. It's more about timing than control complexity, so that's good stuff. And that's the thing. There's actually a functional baseball game in there. Problem is, there's a really lousy baseball game built around it, at least in terms of presentation and polish and pretty much everything else. And I mentioned those animations. We'll just give them an error on that one. Call it a day. Some pretty awkward-looking stuff, especially in the field. Throwing the ball in particular just feels awful. That's because you have to wait for one lousy animation to finish before you can start the throwing animation. So it's all weird and slow. Again, it's not all bad. I mean, Barry Bonds does his signature bat wiggle. Some of the player models are actually pretty decent, at least for 2003. But there's much more negative, unfortunately, as well as some occasionally clumsy ball physics, which... that's enough to ruin anyone's night at the park.
That'll get down for a hit. Schmidt scores from second. And he tags him for the out.
But the modes are probably the game's biggest shortcoming. I mean, for one of these modern-style baseball games to be this thin, it's actually kind of surprising. You can do a season, but not a franchise. You can create a player, but to adjust his attributes, you have to do these stupid drills over and over. Takes too long, kind of pointless. Fortunately, there's a home run derby, which rolls, as well as a couple challenge modes. One actually has you reliving moments from the 2002 season, which is cool, unless you're like me and you're a Pirates fan, in which case we just skip to 2013, because Bucktober was awesome. When you play a game like this, especially given the current show games, it's hard to see any reason to go back to it. The gameplay is just alright. Some of the stadiums look okay. That's about it. Everything else is disappointing, now and back then. Shows why we only have one option these days. Clearly, that's all the industry can handle. Now wake me when pitchers and catchers report. Because Inside Pitch 2003 I think I'm going to go hibernate now.
That'll do it. Today's home run derby winner is Albert Pujols.
Tim McCarver alongside Joe Buck saying thanks for being with us. See you next time on Major League Baseball's Home Run Derby.